The fusion for the month of November has been officially announced. It's starting 31st of October, and in this video I want to go over that champion skills and everything to know whether it's worth going for or not. First impressions. All right, you can tell we're already in the Halloween mood in Raid Shadow Legends. You can tell from this design of this bastion, and a promo code that launched this morning, I saw it. It's called Spooky 17, and this will give you what? Hopefully a lot of resources, some chickens. Let's see, what do you get? 3 hour lasting for 6 days, a 5-star chicken, hopefully for everybody, even for newer players. 500 energy, and 500 silver, 500k silver, and then 100 energy. Not a lot, but still something for the spooky season. The biggest one I think that most people will benefit from is this 3 hour gear minus 100% gear removal cost for 3 hours. That is very, very useful these days in Raid. So who is the champion that is available for this Halloween? Starting 31st of October, this fusion will launch in the game. Yes, this is going to be an old school fusion. It's not a fragment. It's not any of that easier ones. It's going to be an old school fusion where you have to get the rares into the epics and fuse the epics into the legendary. So this is not going to be an easy one. Will this champion be worth going for? That's what I want to find out in this video based on what Raid says about the champion skills. I'll first of all read exactly what they say about this champion, and if you do not know by now, this is their season or their time of bringing champions or bringing characters that we already know in general myth and fiction and bringing it into Raid Shadow Legends. This time around, this champion that is being launched is called Gretel Hagbane. So Gretel and Hansel, basically, you know the old story of these two siblings, and that's what is coming into Raid because they are in line with this Halloween season, I guess. Horror, gore, and all that stuff that is aligned with their story and how they, escaped the house. Let's not go into the lore and all that. We just care about the champion and what this champion will bring. Of course, if you care about the lore, this champion will have a lore that explains how they came into Teleria. All right. So this champion, according to Raid, will be a champion that has an A1 single target hit. Or before they even say what Raid says about it, let me just go and see what I would say about the champion, because I want to decide on my own whether it's going to be a useful one or not before I decide what Raid says. Attacks an enemy on the A1 has a 50% chance of placing 60% decrease defense. 50% chance A1 decrease defense, standard one. And if you pair this champion, yes, they do come in pairs, but only one of them, Gretel, will be available for the fusion. Hansel, we don't yet know. If you want me to, I'll also go over Hansel's skills to see whether it's going to be worth getting the pair, or is this one of those ones where one of them works just fine alone and you don't really need the pair, right? So if Hansel is the witch hunter is on the same team, attacks all enemies instead, has a 25% chance of placing 60% decrease defense debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. So if they are together, you get an AoE A1 that does decrease defense. If this person is alone, Gretel is alone, she just does a single target decrease defense. That's a standard one. It's gonna be booked up to a 75% chance of placing that decrease defense on the A1, right? So 25% chance of placing. So if they are together, it's a lower chances. Books up to a 50% chance if they are together of placing decrease defense AoE. Then I guess they don't want to make an AoE decrease defense that is 100% chance of landing when they are together. It makes sense that A1 shouldn't be that powerful to land a decrease defense AoE on an A1 like that. All right. The next skill is going to be called Shadow Seeker Bolts. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. When you book it, it comes down to a 3-turn cooldown, standard as every skill. But what does it do? Attacks one enemy 4 times. The first hit will ignore 10% of the target's defense. The second hit will ignore 15% defense, third hit 20% defense, and then the fourth hit 25%. So I guess you could just say this champion ignores 25% of the defense. So that's if you're attacking one enemy. It goes random, right? Attacks one enemy 4 times. Oh, it just attacks one person 4 times. This is definitely gonna kill anybody you target with this skill. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not a random that goes to 4 random enemies. It's one that targets one person and takes them out with 4 hits. Definitely gonna be killing anybody you target with this skill. Hopefully they're not in crazy stone skin or big shields or ally protection or something like that. It doesn't ignore all those buffs, but it does ignore defense only. If they have shields, they have ally protection, if they have stone skin, you can forget about this skill. It's not killing anybody. I don't think. We'll have to see. If this attack kills an enemy, resets the cooldown of this skill and fills the champion turn meter by 50%. So you basically want to target somebody that is squishy and easy to kill with this skill. It doesn't grant you an extra turn, it just resets the cooldown of this skill specifically. So that's a 3-turn cooldown skill. I've seen better nukes than this in raid. I've seen better damage dealing abilities than this. So if the intention of this champion is to do damage, which her damage is based on attack, I don't think this will be the most hard-hitting skill in raid. Of course, we'll have to wait for the multipliers to decide. Alright, the third skill is called Sacred Ritual. Attacks all enemies, decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 25%. So you need accuracy on this champion. The A1 does need accuracy, and now the A3 also does need accuracy also. Decreased turn meter of all enemies by 25% is not bad, but you expect it from a champion that is a debuffer or something. I guess we can say this champion is just doing debuffs then, not just a pure damage dealer. If Hansel Witchhunter is on the same team, decreases turn meter of all enemies by 50% instead. This effect cannot be resisted. So if they're together, it's a turn meter decrease by 50%. What else? Then fills the turn meter by 20% for each enemy alive after the attack. This skill will also do damage though. 25% turn meter decrease or 50% turn meter decrease, and then 20% turn meter fill this champion's turn meter. So it's her own turn meter she fills up for each enemy alive after the attack. So she just gets what? Like an Aman's. She's not stealing the turn meter onto herself. She's gonna fill her own turn meter by 20% for each enemy that are alive after the attack. 3-turn cooldown. So she basically gets another turn. It feels like this skill is gonna be like a 2-turn cooldown skill. That's what it feels like. It's gonna be as annoying as an Aman's, decreasing your turn meter, but it seems like this champion will be an arena based champion but can be used in general content where you can decrease the enemy's turn meter for sure. So I'm not impressed by the A1, I'm not impressed by the A2. Now the A3 is also, the A3 I think is gonna be the most useful part of this champion skill. That's what I think. The A3 is the most useful part, and I can tell from what I'm reading so far, most players in real world will be looking at this champion as an easy skip. But then remember, when they are paired together, they can do crazy things. You have to watch the counterpart Hansel skills to see what Gretel can do for Hansel. Not just decide that don't just decide that Gretel is useless. Let's see whether she is in raid just to facilitate Hansel. That's why he's not a fusion and she is the fusion. I don't know which one is the she, which one is he. I hope I'm using it right. Anyways, Sisterly Bond is the passive on a 3-turn cooldown, cannot be booked lower than that. It fills this champion turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy is granted an extra turn. So for those mythical champions that like to metamorph into their other form, it will fill this champion turn meter by 50% when that happens. If Hansel is in the same team, also fills the turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy is granted an extra turn. So enemies who grant an extra turn, enemies who flip their form, mythicals, and also that's where this skill is meant for. So I guess they have a mythical problem right now in raid. They're trying to find us a solution to counter mythicals who switch forms and go to the other alternate form. So she just gets 100% turn meter fill, I guess. It's still not gonna grant that she gets an extra turn though. Maybe after the mythical does take a turn, that's when she might get their turn. Because filling your turn meter is one thing, but then taking a turn instantly after filling your turn meter, no, I think you still have to wait for that mythical that just metamorphs to do his big nukes and kill you before he can do anything. Anyways, that's what I think about it. It doesn't say she gets an extra turn instantly. You still have to wait for that mythical to take a turn. So it's not a real solution to mythicals, right? I mean, it does feel good to have your turn meter filled instantly so you can cut in after the mythical so nobody else in the enemy team takes a turn, right? If you're not dead by them. The active part of this skill, if Hansel is on the same team and is killed by the enemy, instantly activates Sacred Ritual skill. Which one is Sacred Ritual? So if Hansel dies, Sacred Ritual, which is this one, will be activated. The turn meter decrease will be activated. And her own turn meter fill. That's a nice one. Instantly activates it, whether it's on a cooldown or not. Well, this is on a 3-turn cooldown, so it's not going to happen all the time. Once you use it once, it doesn't happen again. Aura increase attack in all battles by 30%. It's huge. It's huge. It's a nice one. So that's the legendary that is coming to raid in October as the fusion for the month of November. She's going to be the fusion for the month of November, but the fusion is starting October 31st. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this champion skill? Are you thinking that alone she serves the purpose of a legendary, an old school legendary? Where do you think she's going to be used? I think they're built out for arena to take care of some mythicals, or to have a solution kind of to mythicals metamorphing and all that. Definitely a champion like this can also be used for the wave, but I don't see this champion being used in Hydra. I don't see this champion used in clan boss. I don't see this champion definitely useful in dungeons. Doom Tower, yes, for sure. And yeah, arena for sure. PvP, that's what it feels like, and other general content. Now let's head over to Hansel Hunter skills and see whether he will be the MVP out of the two. Just like you have the pair Ancora and Narcissus, most people like Narcissus over Ancora, right? But to be clear, she is the one that makes him what he is. So that's, this pair might be like that, where he is the MVP and she is just the one that makes him pop off. So let's find out. Purge All Evil is the A1 that will attack all enemies, 50% chance of placing weakened debuff for 2 turns. He is not the fusion. Take note of that. He's just gonna be maybe released other way or something. But this might be the reason why most will go for the fusion. In case of one day they might pick him up, they want to have the pair. So that's what might make people go for the fusion, even if she's not crazy good with her skills so far. If Gretel is on the same team, attacks all enemies instead. So he brings the weaken, she brings the decreased defense, and it's the same thing, 25% chance of landing it, boosted up to a 50% chance when they are together, or a 75% chance when they are together. So that's a standard A1 weaken, while her is the decreased defense. Needs accuracy to also land, though. It doesn't say, it ignores, doesn't need accuracy. Also places an extra hit on enemies under any debuff, so that's going to be good for damage, I guess. Sanctified Knives is the A2 that attacks all enemies 2 times, will ignore shield and unkillable. Now that's the damage I was looking for. Not just ignore defense, that's not enough anymore in raid. We already have a lot of artifacts ignoring defense. We need to ignore these other buffs that the enemies usually have on them. Stone Skin, shield, ally protection. Ignore everything and do your damage and kill any enemy even if they are protected. That's what you need from a damage dealer these days in raid. And he ignores 2 shields and unkillable buffs. Definitely useful. Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy, for sure. Amazing. Now that's gonna be a more damage dealing ability than her. His damage is also based on attack, so there will be, both of them will be squishy with no way of keeping themselves alive. No self revive, no healing coming in. I just saw that if one person dies, something happens on the other one. She doesn't bring him back or anything. So let's see. So that's the damage dealing ability, 3-turn cooldown. Baneful Burst is the A3 that attacks all enemies, will ignore 15% of each target's defense, also increases the cooldown of 1 random skill for each enemy on each enemy by 2 turns. Are you a debuffer or are you a damage dealer? Make up your mind. The A2 is a single target hit. This one is an AoE, so I guess the A2 will always hit harder than the AoE, but it depends on the content where you want to go with. If you're sure you can kill the enemy, go with the A2 and grant yourself an extra turn, and then you go with the A3 to attack all enemy, ignore 15% of their defense, and then maybe increase the random skill of increase the cooldown of 1 random skill on each enemy by 2 turns. So it's an AoE that might just put their skills on cooldown. Well, not all their skills. It will, 1 random skill, 1 of their random skill will be decreased. So it's not a Yumeko, it's not your latest warlord. It's gonna be a mini version, like an epic version of a decreased cooldown champion. Alright, if she's on the same team, will ignore 30% of the defense, will also increase the cooldown of all skills by 2 turns. All skills. The cooldown increasing effect cannot be resisted. So that's a Yumeko with condition, or that's a warlord with condition. So if Gretel is the team, he becomes the new Yumeko Warlord. I mean, it's not a total skill cooldown, like I said, it's for 2 turns. All their skills though, for 2 turns, would be increased by 2 turns. And the best part is no accuracy needed. This cooldown increasing effect cannot be resisted. Even on Stone Skin, can Stone Skin block it? This is amazing. This should have been the fusion. He should be the fusion. Damn. Well, now you know what you need her for. You need to pick her up so that when you get him, he can be useful in not just for damage, but also, you know, putting enemies skill, increasing the cooldown of your skills without an accuracy banner being needed. You can go full attack on him, full damage, and not worry about accuracy. Brotherly Bond is the passive that reflects all fear and true fear debuffs from this champion to the attacker. I thought that was done. I thought he's broken enough. Now they also have a passive that will just reflect it back to the attacker. If she's in the same team, also reflects fear through fear debuffs placed on her back to the attacker. So they will pair well together. Who is doing fear and true fear though in arena? Who is doing fear and true fear in the arena? Stun, that's what we need. Stun. It should reflect stun back to the attacker. Active skill, if she's in the same team and is killed by the enemy, instantly activates his A4. I mean his A3 skill, which is gonna do the AoE attack and then put their skills on cooldown without needing accuracy. Damn. Now, if he was the fusion for the month of November, damn. I'm impressed by his skills. I can see that she makes his skill possible. If he's not there, if she's not there in the team, he possibly doesn't pop off as much as you want him to. So how are we going to obtain him? We'll have to find out within when the fusion starts in the month of November. I'm sure they're going to announce how we can get him. Whether it's going to be a 15x event, whether it's going to be a 10x special event, whether it's going to be a Eurospart, Deck of Fates, however they want to give us this champion, a guaranteed legendary event maybe. So begin to save all your resources for this upcoming fusion, her alone, for the month of November, while we think about how we can obtain him at the same time and make that pairing crazy in the arena. For sure, this is going to be an arena champion for sure. So increase attack in arena battles by 33% as a leader slot champion if you want to pair him that way. So now we have a new pair in Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, remember they are related, they are brothers and sisters, they are siblings. So take note of that as you talk about them in Raid. Moving on. So what do you make of her, Gretel? Do you think you still go for her if you have no chance of obtaining this champion anytime soon? Or do you think alone she is worth going for as a fusion? So starting 31st of October, and personally on my main account, I have the resources to go for every fusion that comes up. Even if I'm not going to use the champion immediately, or I don't have the counterpart immediately, I'll obtain her and I'll keep her somewhere until one day I obtain him and then begin to pair them together. Alone, I don't think using her alone really brings much value to my teams, because I currently have other champions who do better than her right now. So that's what I think about this fusion for the month of October. Let me know in the comments if you're going for her or not. Yeah, there's one more news that dropped that I should probably share. A progressive chance event that is coming up on 27th and 26th. The first 26th one will have Queen Ancora, Candraphone, Gaia the Truth Shield, Cisia, Flametongue, White King Narcissus, Supreme Kale on the chopping block for those who want to pull their shots on the 26th Saturday this weekend to get those champions. And then a one more slot for Miscreated Monster, Doom Priest, Seeker, Madam Series, and Umbrella Enchantress is for Epics category. While on the 27th you have another 15x boosted up to a 25x chance of getting Prince Kaima, Ultimate Death Knight, Motu Macab, Queen Eva, Joji the Breaker, and Hegemon. For the epics, you have Magna Aishma. I want that champion. I'm pulling shots to get my Aishma on 27th. Osbrox, Boone, Clive, Golden Reaper. That's all I needed to hear. Aishma. My Lady Mikage Fusion Epic, by the way. That's why I'm so excited. I'll be picking her up on the 27th, hopefully, as my 15x, 25x chance champion when I'll be pulling my ancient shards or sacred shards to get her that day. Damn, to pull shards this weekend just to get the epic is kind of sad, but I'll have to do whatever I need to do to get this champion so I can finally get Mikage and be more useful in live arena. All right, that's all that is going on right now. Go over there, claim your promo code if not done so already. Spooky17 is the promo code, and let me know in the comments what you feel about this fusion. Begin to save the resources. This fusion did not give us like a 1 week notice ahead. I don't even see any fusion warm-up event coming up right here. See, no even fusion warm-up. We're currently on the 24th, and then the fusion is coming up on the 31st. Well, I think the fusion warm-up event is like 4 days, but I thought we'd normally get a week notice. Instead, we're getting just a few more days to get into this one. Someone rush way to glory for more champions. Someone, why is Sifi on this? Is there someone rush for Sifi coming up? I don't know about this news, but let me quickly check the calendar to see if there's any crazy event that is going to give some players a Sifi. I mean, it's all part of the Halloween celebrations. Maybe they just use our avatar, but I don't see any Sifi, summon rush, summon champions, shards event, and rares. There's a special reward on offer to certain point milestones. Is it the avatar frame? This is just the avatar frame. It's not the champion specifically. They just use that because it's, I guess we'll have to see in 19 hours. So that's going to be the weekend, like I said, and I will be pulling my shards on the 27th to see if I can pick up that Aishma, the only one I need. One of the epics I need to complete the Mikage. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily great content. Later, guys.